Government of Karnataka, Department of Collegiate Education, myself Khalil, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Course BBM, 5th semester, Subject Management, Paper Business Research Methods, Topic Research Methodology, Subtopic Types of Non Probability Sampling. Hello, dear students. I welcome you all in this session. As you are aware, in the previous session, we discussed about non-probability sampling. Means what is non-probability sampling? In that, we also discussed about two types of non-probability samplings, namely convenience sampling and judgmental or purposive sampling. In this lecture, we are going to talk about next to two types of non-probability samplings and uses of non-probability sampling. Dear students, the third non-probability sampling method is snowball sampling. Snowball sampling is a sampling method that researchers apply when the subjects are difficult to trace. Snowball sampling is also known as chain referral sampling. This snowball sampling is defined as non-probability sampling technique in which the samples have traits that are rare to find. In other words, this is a sampling technique in which existing subjects provide referrals to recruit samples required for a research study. To understand this snowball sampling, now I will explain few examples. First example about sensitive topics like AIDS. While collecting feedback about a sensitive topic like AIDS, represent sorry respondents are not forthcoming with information. In this case, the researcher can recruit people with an understanding or knowledge of such people and collect information from them or ask them to collect information. The second example is about shelterless people or illegal immigrants. It will be extremely challenging to survey shelterless people or illegal immigrants. In such cases, using the snowball sampling method or snowball theory, researchers can trace a few categories to interview and derive results. Researchers also implement this sampling method in situations where the topic is highly sensitive and not openly discussed, as we discussed in the first example. This is about the third non probability sampling, that is snowball sampling. Students, the fourth non probability sampling is quota sampling. In quota sampling, the selection of members in this sampling technique happens based on a preset standards. In this case, as a sample is formed based on specific attributes, the created sample will have the same qualities found in the total population. It is a rapid method of collecting samples. It is a rapid method of collecting samples. In other words, quota sampling is a method of collecting a sample where the researcher has the liberty to select a sample based on their strata. Strata means group. The primary characteristics of this method is that two people cannot exist under two different conditions. Here is two examples. With these examples, we can understand what is quota sampling. The first example about shoe manufacturer. When a shoe manufacturer would like to understand from millennials their perception of brand with other parameters like comfort, pricing, etc., it selects only females who are millennials for this study, as the research objectives is to collect feedback about women's shoes. Dear students, in the previous section, we discussed the first two types of non-probability sampling, namely convenience sampling and judgmental or purposive sampling. In this lecture, we completed third one, that is snowball sampling, and fourth one, quota sampling. This is all about types of non-probability sampling. Okay, now we will talk about another important concept, that is uses of non-probability sampling. There are few uses of non-probability sampling. The first use of non-probability sampling is create a hypothesis. Researchers use the non-probability sampling method to create an assumption when limited to no prior information is available. This method helps with the immediate return of data and builds a base for further research. The second use of non-probability sampling is exploratory research. Researchers use this sampling technique widely when conducting qualitative research, pilot studies, or exploratory research. The last benefit or use of non-probability sampling is budget and time constraints. The non-probability method, when there are budget and time constraints and some preliminary data must be collected. Since the survey design is not rigid, it is easier to pick respondents at random and have them take the survey or questionnaire. This is about the uses of non-probability sampling. Dear students, till now in this section we have discussed about third and fourth type of non-probability sampling. That is snowball sampling and quota sampling. And uses of non-probability sampling. Now it's a time to conclude this session. Conclusion. From the above discussion, we can conclude that snowball sampling and quota sampling helps researcher in obtaining accurate data for his research work. Researchers widely use the non-probability sampling method when they are aimed at conducting qualitative research, pilot studies, or exploratory research. Non-probability sampling has multiple uses in research. This is a reference slide. You can refer few books, and I have provided internet reference links also here. Kindly make use of all these references. Thank you all. Have a nice day.